1, 2, 3, come on!
Welcome to another exciting raised garden bed build. We're going to build this one on stilts for a client who is unable to bend down and tend their garden. The customer requested 32 inches wide and 8 feet long. I have everything laid out for us to get started. We're going to use our bottom boards as a guide to mark for our pilot holes. This guide will ensure that our pilot holes hit the center of the board that we're going to be screwing into. With both boards now marked, we can start our pilot holes. To ensure these boards don't separate, we're going to measure every 8 inches and drill a pilot hole. We'll measure from the bottom of the board to the top of the line that we drew, and we'll drill right in the middle. Now that we have the pilot holes drilled on our sideboards, we're ready to move on to the next step. We'll need to notch out our deck boards to allow the 4x4 legs to come all the way up through the framing. This will add strength and stability. For this process, we'll use our speed square to mark out a 3x3 corner out of the deck board. We will repeat this process on all 4 corners. Once we have our corners marked, and before we start cutting out the corners, we'll find the middle of our box and mark it, and we'll cut a notch out on either side of the box for the center legs. With everything marked, we'll use our circular saw to cut out the corners. The circular saw will not completely cut out the corners. With the circular saw, we have to be careful to only cut up to the line and not go past it. We'll finish up the cut with our sawzall, being careful that we do not go past the lines. The blade on the sawzall will allow us to cut evenly through the thickness of the board. We'll repeat this process on all 4 corners and the middle. The circular saw can only cut into the notch. The round blade is too large to cut across without damaging the wood. Once you've finished your first cuts, you can carefully use your circular saw just to put a little notch in the cross grain. This notch will provide a starting point for your sawzall. You can then use your sawzall to finish up the cut. Just lay the blade of your sawzall into the notch and continue to press down until the blade plunges through the wood, and you can finish up your cut. Repeat the process on the other side and you're on your way. Test fit to make sure that our leg fits snugly in our notch. Now we're ready to start putting the screws in and getting it all put together. We'll use our speed square to make sure that the boards are even, and then we'll start screwing. With the end pieces cut, we'll drill our pilot holes and secure them to the side panels. This looks like a really good place to stop for tonight. We'll hit it again tomorrow and get the rest of it finished up. Another spring day in Western PA. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute, it'll change. Hood up, gloves on, the show must go on. We're going to go ahead and start with the legs here and get them cut. We want to make the top of this raised bed at about tabletop high so it'll be easy access for the lady that's going to be having her plants in it. I'm cutting the legs 32 inches high. They're going to extend through the deck and up into the frame. I'll be using my speed square to find the center of the pocket, marking it out. I want to make sure when we drill our holes that our bolts are able to go right through the middle of the leg. Now that I have everything marked out, start drilling the holes. Now we can drill the holes through the legs so that we can put the bolts through them. We'll put 2 3/8 by 5 inch bolts on each side of the corner on all 4 legs, and then in the middle as well. We'll have our legs bolted on. Now to add the finishing touches, we're going to put some supports across the bottom of it. This 2x10 construction will handle an enormous amount of weight, but we're going to be putting an enormous amount of weight on it. So just for a little safety feature, we're going to add on a couple extra 2x4s to the bottom of it just to strengthen it up a bit. As I said in the beginning, this raised garden bed is being made for a client. After watching the video on the first one that I made, she contacted me and wanted me to make her one. So we're going to get to take this for a little ride here in a little bit. We'll show you what it looks like when we get it set up. Just a quick view of it finished and upside down. When we get it over to the location, we'll get it upright and we'll get you a shot of that as well. Well, our raised bed made it to its permanent home. Now the fun part, getting it out of the truck. Make no mistake, these 4x4 legs and 2x10 construction weighs a significant amount. We'll get this one in on a sawhorse, and then we'll pull the truck out a little bit. We'll flip it over and set her down, and she'll be ready to plant in. Miss Bev from Hitch a Chick Urban Homestead channel is going to give me a little hand getting her flipped over. Little bits at a time, we're going to get her out. Here it comes, she's coming down with a thud. Looks like the first thing getting planted is this sawhorse. We drove that into the ground a little bit. There it is, standing pretty and ready to be used for service for many, many years. If you like building things, or just like watching crazy people build things, hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell so you can see the next crazy video by the Viral Workaholic. Smash that like button. Where else can you get to see a crazy old man dancing around in a raised garden bed? And always remember, happy building!